Okay. Whew. Oh my God. Okay, 9:31 a.m. Oh my God, on Friday, October 4th, 2019 in Sarasota, Florida. My Uber is scheduled for less than 40 minutes, so this will be a relatively brief video. Only been home a little over 3 days, calendar-wise, or hours-wise, I should say. And in no small way, I'm still processing what was a normal Ironman week, but for me, and my highly sensitive nature and just where I am at present in my world, it's overwhelming, any one event, and it very easily could take me many more days than I'm forced to. There goes Kathy. Oh God, let's start this again. Okay, 9:31 a.m. Oh man, and I wanted to do those two songs. 9:31 a.m., Friday, October 4th, 2019, getting ready to depart for 29 of the next 31 days. 29 of the next 31 days will be work for Ironman. This is an 18-day stint that I start right now. Uber will be here in less than 30 minutes. And then I will be home for 2 days, and then I will have an 11-day stint. Then I'll be home for just over 2 weeks, and I'll have my final 6 days. So, I've never pushed through, and I will be pushing through. This is not inspiration pulling me. This is more of the old story Alyson that is still managing to co-create challenges that she claims consciously she no longer desires. I don't want to push this hard ever again in this life. It served me well when I was younger. I now have a different awareness of myself, a different awareness of reality, and everything has shifted, and I just am choosing, I desire to be a different version of my character that I am not able to be in the Ironman world. In fact, quite interestingly and ironically, but at the same time, absolutely not accidental, Ironman absolutely represents the pinnacle of the energy of what I call old story Alyson. And so, wow, is it tricky to try to be in that world, but not of it, given its immense momentum and power and the masculine. Whoa, it is a lot for me right now, a lot for me. Physically, I have a lower back issue, and my neck and my back is not particularly well. And this will be extremely physical, especially the next 12 days. Just the hours, the heat, and literally the physical labor. So yeah, I have very consciously asked, it's been all women, a few very women closer to me to basically just have me a little bit more in their thoughts and prayers this month, because I definitely perceive myself in and as the character of Alyson. This is one of the hardest things I will have ever gotten through. And again, I'm really not intending to create something this challenging I'm just not, because it's not fun. It's not fun. I love the people with whom I work, but I do not love this work. And I really struggle working for, let's just call it a mainstream corporate model. Really struggle. And even though I'm a contractor, even though I'm not playing the same game certainly as the full-timers. I mean, obviously they're on the full-time track because that game, if you will, is one that they either desire to be in and or are doing well in, and or just don't know that they have another choice, which the latter of those three is how I would describe myself when I landed here in Sarasota in 2008. I just didn't know for so long that I didn't have to play that mainstream game. Um, all to say that I'm definitely nervous. I can sense that my time with Ironman absolutely has to shift pretty notably, definitely by 2021, if I'm going to remain in any capacity in that world. And really trying to get some smidgets of some work opportunities that merge kind of me as my company working with Ironman as opposed to me as my little Alyson working for Ironman. Again, all over, I know. I was only home 3 days, and first stint where I didn't have to go to the farm, and man, I definitely tasted that very heavy weight having been lifted. I mean, my time here is gonna transition and be very different this off season. Just over 9 months since releasing my ex-significant other and letting him go, and that go was huge this year. I've actually released both my choice and not my choice 4 or 5 other very intense male relationships that more represented and characterized my older version of myself. And what I kind of have to say is more of the girl version versus the woman version, which is a version I'm still learning what woman Alyson looks like and who woman Alyson is. I was just flirting with that when I met B, and I won't go off on that tangent, but that 2020 will be the first full year without him, and it will also be the first full year without the farm, which was equally, if not more, waiting on me, as became more clear once I let B go. And now, as I let both of those things go, my dynamic in Ironman, within Ironman, as an individual, my experience as the unique being that Alyson is, it's clarifying now that I don't have these other kind of interferences, if you will. Just for me, since I'm so sensitive energetically, and it's like having a musical ear where you're able to hear different notes, That's how I feel like I am with feeling energy. And I'm not going to go off on that tangent. I'm just saying that when I have less going on, especially less that was not serving me, it's just by logical extension, deductive reasoning, it's going to kind of allow me to focus. I'm not spreading my focus and my attention so far. I don't have as many things influencing how I'm feeling. So I'm better able to identify, this is making me feel this. I kind of liken it to when I fast. I love fasting. One of the best parts is because when your body is all clear of anything, and you're taking in my case, I usually do the master cleanse. I'm taking in the same substance for, I've done it as much as 17 days. Then when you slowly start introducing food and drink back into your system, you can it's so much more clear how things affect your body and your specific body chemistry. And that's the same thing with losing these other things out of my life, releasing them and trying to release with them and detach from them with love, which has been really challenging. And like I said, it's bringing my relationship and my dynamic with Ironman into a clearer perspective. And I don't want to say I've been, inauthentic. I certainly haven't been inauthentic, but I hold back. I have to hold back. My role causes me to hold back from, it's crazy that I'm dancing in that world. I've kind of made the team, if you will, but I'm like literally, setup monkey and garbage girl. And I love monkeys, and I am humbled and honored to do the humbling work. But I've been doing the physical. I've been kind of in that world ever since leaving the mainstream traditional work setup, which for me, my last job within that world was as an educator, a 6th grade social studies teacher, and I left that in June of 2008. So I've been doing this a while, and if you've never experienced trying to create your own work from scratch, and I mean, whoa, man, and leaving the sort of security of a more traditional job, or at least job structure, and I wouldn't have it any other way, and I'm not trying to be better than anybody, but it's a different experience without a doubt. And I am literally creating the work of my dreams, which is essentially just using the greatest of my skills out in the world to have the furthest ripple effect. And I am so far from that in this powerful world of Ironman. And it is terrifying to try to figure out how or if I should say anything. Because so far in my life, when something has ended where I wouldn't have wanted to lose me, we'll use the farm. I took hours upon hours to write a resignation letter, which no one would even think of doing at the farm, save maybe one other person. And it wasn't even acknowledged. But I also have written a very long letter to my father in my past that was never acknowledged. It's these times where I've tried to kind of come into myself and actually have my voice. I'm more than this caricature. I'm more than Mighty Mouse. I'm more than this, small thing that's strong. That's all that I'm seen as. And that gets hard, not because I don't even need to be seen or want to be seen. I just want to be using my energy in the capabilities that I have. So it's weird because I had the capabilities to be at that sort of energy level, of Ironman, but I'm not playing the same game. So as I'm trying to co-create my own work separate from working for others, I'm also simultaneously trying to co-create a more suitable job for myself in the Ironman world where I believe I can serve them even better. I'm not going to forget, I respect what they're in business for and to do. It's not my game, and it's a real struggle. It's getting harder and harder for me to be a part of it because it's just not a game I'm good at. The dollar is the bottom line, most important thing. The hierarchy, the people at the top making the most and the people at the bottom almost slaving away. Not my favorite game, but I respect their game, and I respect that if I'm there to do a role in their game, I got to get that done. But I swear to God, I can do more for them in their game and help me in my game within that world. And those are the ideas that it's terrifying still right now, I'm working through it, that I'm going to share with at least one person, potentially the guy that brought me into the company, and he's at the vice president level and a decision-making level. So, and I'm not going to be attached to any ideas, but if I present it, I may risk, the worst thing I risk is to look like kind of a fool, but I'm not going to present them just willy-nilly. I have been studying this world for 5 seasons now, studying it. And, oh my God, one of the services I feel like I can offer, and this idea was first triggered when I was straight out of my awakening in the halls of Microsoft, is to offer this unique sort of business consulting. And I've been in the trenches, and I can get along with everybody, and I love seeing all the perspectives, and I'm not tied to any of it. I have valuable input to share, and I really think I have some ideas, and in their world, a few $1,000s is not a lot, but I'm also about trying to merge into their world just a greater awareness of how big their bubble is. You guys have a pretty big bubble, and that's great. You're a great bubble, and I'm not trying to upset the bubble, but there's a lot outside the bubble, and all I'm here to say is I can be the connector to this and just help share all the awesome in the bubble with more that are not in that bubble. Oh shit, okay. I've got to end this. Oh my God, it's a 17-hour travel day. I'll probably get to my hotel probably by about 10 p.m. local time, and I have to be at work at 8 a.m., so 10 hours later. And I'm going to try to run beforehand. I've got 2 days of running behind me. Haven't run since August, also because my lower back has been hurting. But interestingly, my lower back doesn't hurt when I'm running. So I went a 10K this morning, which, you know, it's just crazy how it's all relative, how in shape or out of shape you are, because I know how in shape I am as compared to like the average person, but relative to myself, relative to this world of Ironman, I am not in shape. And first and foremost, at the practical level, it affects my ability to do my job that requires immense physical strength, stamina, and endurance, just like the race itself. And on a more emotional and spiritual level, it's exhausting for me to work through I'm just going to say it, what are judgments? You know, and I don't want to have judgment. I'm aiming to not have judgment of anything and to be fully at peace with everybody, you know, doing in every system and every company. Like, it's not my place to judge. So working through, when you become aware of having some judgment feelings, working through that is, you know, that's a journey in and of itself. And that is the other just draining thing that weighs on me when I'm at these events, because there's a lot, and the longer I'm there, the more of which I become aware. Whoa, and it's just, you know, it's a balance, because I would never, ever want to dishonor, most certainly, any of the people with whom I work. I have nothing but the utmost respect and admiration for the people on the ground with whom I work. Not in the office. That's not my game. Those people don't know me, I don't know them. This is based on the badass, unbelievable human beings on the ground. And seeing as many of them leave as I have seen leave, it blows my mind. And every time another one leaves, which is often, it hurts my heart a little bit, because I hate seeing things that aren't appreciated or valued. And so that's an interesting journey that I continue to be on in this world. And this big race is very, because it's not kind of my world, I need to respect and honor that this is a really big deal to a lot of people. And that's kind of challenging, because for me personally, again, it's not about faking it. It's just about trying to get in the energy of everybody else's experience of it. But for me, it's getting harder and harder, because I don't like crowds. I don't like some of the, I don't like that game. I don't like the big productions. I'm kind of about getting more out of much less, and in a more anonymous way. And so it's, again, pretty interesting, ironic, not coincidental that I desire something literally 180 degrees opposite of what my primary source of income is right now. And the only way that practically makes sense to leave that opportunity, or just at least reduce it. I could be much better if I wasn't traveling for a full month on the road and leaving my cats and my home and my world that I love here, most notably these cats and the beans that, it's so hard. So I would love to choose less, but I don't perceive myself to have that choice until I have something to replace it. So we quit the farm, big chunk of our income. We're making room for my little company of me to get some things of value out in the world, to find the opportunities to begin to share them, to be very transparent and open about the ones that will generate income, as opposed to all the what will dominate what I intend to do, which is pay it forward, moving energy this way with only trust and ease. You know, that is going to get off the ground in 2020. It must get off the ground in 2020. A big reason I'm taking the spiritual retreat I am to Ecuador at the end of this calendar was because I need this too. I need to step up my game, and most notably in just honoring myself, being authentic with myself, and I'm being called to be more authentic and more real within the Ironman world. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little, you know, I'm a little woman in a big guy's world. It's a lot of masculine energy. With the women within that world have a lot of masculine energy as well. And my feminine is screaming to come out and to allow the woman version of Alyson be entirely different than the child version, if only because she's finally learned balance and trying to seek and maintain balance in the world of Ironman. Well, let's just say this. I can't imagine a more challenging environment, and I'm really kind of tired of the challenge because it's not fun anymore. It used to be fun when I didn't know better, but it doesn't need to be hard. I don't want it to be hard. I want to play. I want to be singing. I want to be dancing. If I'm going to be physical in that world, I want to be singing and dancing and using this energy and speaking and connecting higher, different energies. We'll just call them different energies. That's all I want to do. And I'm really close. I can taste it. And that is why I get so nervous. Because on the surface, you know, like I said, all people see is Mighty Mouse. Essentially, I'm a caricature. I'm a jester. And that's fine. But I just don't want to play that role anymore. But it's tricky because that role is how I'm a big part of how I'm paying bills. So there it is. Hawaii and Tempe, Arizona. I may try to do some audio recordings. I really have no idea. And I'm only home 2 days when I come back. So, oh my God, to try to download these next 18 days. Right now, I'm just trying to be fully present with each one from a much higher branch of my own tree and really just put my head down, get the work done. But then when I'm not working, which is not very often, put my head up and take in the energy of this beautiful island and try, if only with my thoughts, to balance out. God, I mean, we bring a lot of people, we bring a lot of trash, we bring a lot of unnecessary stuff, to be honest. And it hurts me. I feel the island saying, hey, cool if you have your race, but you got to balance this out a little bit more. And I'm not trying to piss anybody off by being sort of, you know, the quiet whistleblower. It's like I'm not revealing any secrets here. I'm just saying we need to even out the energy that we leave behind the places where we're at. We do great for within that model, but that model has been wholly constricted and limited, and the bar in terms of the environment and humans, the employees as human beings, the bar's been set really low. And we're just being beckoned, you know, to try to raise that bar. And that's what I think I'm there for. And if not, I will likely piss off the wrong person probably sooner rather than later, and even more likely that I don't even do it with saying anything. Because I gotta stand up in that, if only for myself, quietly, but I know how much my energy exudes out of me. And I have experienced that alone disrupting people. And in my past, I had to mature to not allow other people's reaction to my energy to affect me, because I'm never intending harm or pain. I'm only intending love for the greatest good. Always, and I'm not perfect. I'm a human being that is consciously evolving and consciously answering a call from something much greater than me. I'm comfortable with calling it the universe, the cosmos, spirit, but it is what people call God. And all that is, source, the light. I am following that. I have been following that full time since I got on that plane on August 8th in 2012 from Seattle. And it's time to get back to that, and I'm not trying to draw any unnecessary attention, but I have to be the channel of that light. That's what I came here to do. And I don't think I'm in the world of Ironman accidentally, but it's a pretty intimidating, scary, it's intimidating. It's challenging and intimidating to come up as a feminine energy, especially from a small feminine body like myself. And even though I've proven myself in their world, it doesn't really matter. When you reach the threshold, in my experience, you reach the threshold. And I haven't been around a lot of masculine energy yet that can see or even believe some of the crazy coming out of my mouth, especially as it pertains to business. So right now I'm just looking to co-create and create the opportunities to kind of test some of these business hypotheses, beginning with my own self. So there we go. Thank you. Here we come, Hawaii and Tempe, Arizona.